Hello, guys. It's Amy with Lulu Bean Designs. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We are going to be doing a new spring door hanger tonight. So this is the free file for February. I just posted this today. So if you have not grabbed it, you can hop over to my website and get it for free for this month. So the link is in the video description. If you want to go and grab it. So if you are joining me tonight, come in and say hello and tell me what's going on and tell me where you're watching from and all of that. We are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to be doing some Mod Podging tonight. I actually grabbed a couple packs of cardstock from Michaels today. So these are, I think, 50% off today or this week. So I have a stack of the plaids, like spring colors. So lots of pretty spring colors in there. And then this one is, and they both have solids. And then this one is the coordinating florals that go with it. So we're going to be using those. Hey, Penny, how are you? Thanks for joining me. We're going to be using these tonight to do a little bit of Mod Podging on our door hanger. So that should be fun. Okay, so I've already painted my round backer circle. I just took some Waverly brown wax paint and I used a baby wipe and I did the cheater method and I just did a light coat on here. And then I took my little chip brush and some white paint and I went over just kind of lightly with a dry brush. So I did that before I got on camera. So that is all done and it's pretty much dry already. It dries really quick. So we can get started on our letters and all of our cute little attachments. We're going to be doing, so what I did was I pulled my cardstock pack out and I kind of held it up with all my paint colors and I picked out a few colors that go with that palette. So we are going to be doing, these are all Apple Barrel colors from Walmart. I went and stocked up today. Now these paints are 58 cents. I'm using these more than Deco Art paints these days. So I finally just decided to go and get like pretty much every color because I could do that for so cheap. And that way I could just stick with one line of paint. And if I was out of a color, I would know I could just run up there and grab it. And hey, Sandra, how are you? I hope everybody is doing good tonight. Let me know what's going on. Are you crafting tonight? What are you doing? Are you doing a laser project? So anyway, this is light lavender. And then we have blue bonnet, which this one is one of my favorites. This is a really cute color. And then we have cloudless, which is a really pale blue color, very pretty. And lime tree green. And then we just have your basic, this is Snow White, and then the granite gray. So those are all of our Apple Barrel colors we're going to be using tonight. Okay, this, let me think. This sign, it says Hello Spring. So this is my kind of biggest attachment. So let me think. I think I'm going to do the blue bonnet on that just because, like I said, I really like that color. I think it's very pretty, very bright and springy. We are already moving on to spring projects. Everybody's telling me that they want Easter files. Comment and tell me, are you working on Easter and spring and flowers and bunnies and all the things? Hey, Tanya, how are you? Good evening. I know I don't go live very often at night. I'm going to start trying to do one live at night per week. So hopefully I can catch a few more of you guys who work during the day. I am just using a big old sponge dauber to paint these letters. It puts a nice coat on here and sometimes I can get away with just one coat. So that I really like. And you'll notice these letters have some pieces cut out. Well, the S and the G have some pieces cut out because those pieces have flowers that attach to them. So we'll be adding those later. I think I'm going to be able to get away with just one coat on here. This door hanger measures 18 inches And it does have the shiplap lines and the hanging holes included in the file. So if you don't want to have to deal with, adding holes or drilling holes or any of that, I always just go ahead and laser cut the holes in my circles. It just makes it easier. Easter eggs on bunnies. Yes, I am in the mood for spring stuff. Every time I see bunnies and flowers and Easter eggs, I get very excited for all the pastel colors. Somebody's riding something outside, an ATV or it sounds like a street sweeper, to be honest. It's kind of going slow. I don't know what that is. Very weird. We have street sweepers down here in Louisiana. I've never lived where there was a street sweeper. So interesting. It doesn't come like regularly, it doesn't seem like. It just kind of every once in a while we see it. And we're not in the city. I thought street sweepers were like a city thing. So I don't know. We're in the suburbs. I'm getting paint all over my table as usual, but that is all right. So it was 68 degrees today down here in Houma, and it was so nice. The weather is just getting nice and warm lately, and I am here for it. I am so ready for summer. Well, not summer, spring, but really here it's kind of like it goes straight to summer. So it feels like summer. Very soon it will feel like summer. I'm ready for just warm days when we can just sit outside. That's what I'm ready for. So without a sweater on. I love this blue bonnet, and it goes perfect with the cardstock. Perfect color. All right, there's our spring. Set that aside. And then I'm going to work on this little banner that we're going to Mod Podge. So I'm going to go ahead and just paint it white on the top. Y'all, I'm trying to keep the paint off of here. This is from the other day. Trying to keep it clean. And I've got some like nicks and spots in this table that glue landed on the table and I didn't get it off in time. So it is what it is. All right, so we're going to go with a little bit of white on here. And I'll just take a brush. I'm only going to paint along the top of the banner because the bottom is where the cardstock is going to go. And you can cut cardstock with your laser. If you did not know. It's super fast and easy. You could also cut it with your Cricut or your Silhouette machine, or you could just cut it with a pair of scissors if you want to. But if you have a laser, there is no need. You can just cut it with that. The settings are going to be different for, every machine, as they always are. Flip my fan on so these pieces will be drying. Y'all let me know if that fan is too loud. I can put it down on low. Maybe I'll shift some. There we go. That's better. Okay. So then the cardstock pieces are So they're each of the banner, the little, I don't know what you call those, pennant. It's like a pennant banner, I think it's what it's called. But each of the little flags is a separate piece. So I just cut out the pieces with my laser. See the florals and the plaids, and then this blue plaid. So yeah, so I'm going to Mod Podge those on when this white paint dries. I cut them at, so I cut them with my Thunder laser, and I think my setting was 300 speed and 60 power, but honestly, I could have probably gone way down on the power. I just went by the library, the Thunder library. It tells you the colors. It tells you the settings for each material. Okay, so if I'm going to put these letters on the banner pieces, I'm just trying to make sure. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see white. I don't know. I think I will be able to see white okay, because the cut sides, the laser cut sides are still going to be dark. So I think that will make it stand out, hopefully. If not, we could always do another color on top of the white, but we're going to try to make those white. So tell me what the weather is like where you're watching, where you are from. Is it still cold there? I know some people are still stuck in some pretty cold weather. I mean, it is February, so that's to be expected. Okay. These smaller letters, I'm just going ahead and putting on a piece of painter's tape just to keep them from flying all over the place. And it's keeping my work surface from getting too much paint all over it, so that's nice. Okay, and then we're just going to have our flowers to do after that. So I'll show y'all how that is going to look. We'll set our hello side to dry over here. All right, so spring. And then we have a flower up here, and this flower fits into this S like that. You can see that. And this flower goes towards the bottom, and then this flower goes like that. Christina, I'm sure it is cold in Virginia. I'm sorry. Yep, I'm from Virginia, and I know my kids are there, and it is not as warm up there, unfortunately. So what is the temperature today where you are in Virginia? And then Penny, you are in the 30s. Ooh, the 30s in Ohio. Oh my goodness, that is still very cold. All right, so let's incorporate some of our other colors from our color palette for these flowers. So I'm going to start with this purple color. Oh, my purple is a little bit clogged. Hold on, I need to poke something down in there to unclog it. Oh, it's really clogged. Come on out. I don't want to stab myself in the hand with this tool. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's not working. Let's see. I can grab it with these pliers. There we go. Okay. Currently 36, high of 48. Really? You must be in the northern part of Virginia. I mean, maybe not. Or like Southwest. Are you in Southwest Virginia? In the mountains? So I'm from Richmond, Mechanicsville, actually, and then just north of us, about an hour north of us, is Fredericksburg, and it makes a big difference just 1 hour north, an hour southeast. Okay, yeah, gotcha. I didn't realize it was that chilly there still this week. Now, this flower, well, all the flowers have score lines on them. So if you want, let me show you one that's not painted. If you want to use the score lines to do like an outline, you can. I'm just actually going to go ahead and paint over the lines. You probably will still be able to see them a little bit through the paint, but yeah, I'm not going to use the outline. Not with this purple, at least. Okay. I feel like I want to do like a little something fun on these, like some polka dots or something. All right, I'm going to do 2 coats of paint first, though. Okay, so let's do this one in this pale blue. Oh, not far from Petersburg. Gotcha. Okay, well, it must not be much warmer than that in Richmond. I don't think Richmond and Petersburg are that different usually. Okay. And let's see. We'll do 1 blue flower up top. Oh, you know what? I think actually I might do this one in white. Yeah, let me do that one in white, and then we'll make the center of it a different color. Let's see. So comment and tell me, have you guys ever cut cardstock with your laser? Do you have a laser, and do you ever cut cardstock with it? And if so, what kind of laser is it? Or are you scared to cut cardstock? Let me know. A lot of people are very intimidated to cut cardstock. But I promise you, it is so easy and fast. That one in green. Okay, so I'm keeping my brushes out of the paint, or out of the water. I don't want them in the water right now, because I want the colors nice and vivid. All right, so this is what I'm going to do for my second coat. I'm just going to put like a little bit of white. I'm going to mix a little bit of white in just for variation. Becky, you have not cut cardstock with yours. And Christina says, cardstock, but not, oh, cardboard, but not cardstock with your Mira 7. And Penny says she did cut some with a Glowforge. So how, those of y'all who cut cardstock, how did it go? Okay, so I've got purple on here, but I'm just gonna just kind of lightly dip it in a little bit of white and do a second coat. And it just, when you do that, y'all, when you add just a little bit of white into your paint, it really just makes the color so much richer. And you can see just a little bit of streaking because these are flowers. So they're not, you know, totally solid. They have a little bit of texture to them. It's hard to see on camera. I think I tried, there we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. Yeah, the light, it's hard to see that lighting on that overhead camera. Here, I guess I can hold it on in front. You can kind of see the variation a little bit. I tried the trick on my overhead camera. I can't remember who recommended this to me, but I tried the trick where someone said to flip my overhead camera around the other way, which I didn't think that I could do with StreamYard running, but I did figure it out, and I flipped it tonight. So it's actually like the phone is facing down instead of facing up. But when I noticed that when I try, I don't think it makes that big a difference on, you know, my overhead, honestly, but it does make the light worse when I go to hold something up under here. So I really don't think that that improves things, unfortunately. I was really hoping that it would. All right, so this is the blue, and then I'm just picking up a little bit of white. It's making it a lot more vivid with this second coat. And then I'm going to pick some more white back up, and I'm just going to kind of streak it. But I'm going to do something else here in a minute with these flowers. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so for the white, what brush did I use for the white? I guess I'll put it in my water. I did. Okay, so for the white, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a second coat of white. But I'm going to pick up some purple. I'm just going to streak it a little bit. I wonder if I can see here. Let me zoom in some more. You're going to see the camera in front of my face, though, unfortunately. All right, I need to move these up some. That's as close as I can get, unfortunately. So I'm just kind of streaking. Like that. And then I'm going to pick up the blue. This is the light blue, and I'm just going to kind of add a little of that in there too. Okay, so this is making me want to go back and add some purple to this blue flower. So we're going to do that. I was going to grab my, what am I trying to say? My puffy paint. I was going to grab my puffy paint on these flowers, but now I don't know, because now that I'm adding that color to it, I think that that just definitely does something. Sorry about the shadows, y'all. It's kind of hard to see it really well up close. And then this one, we're going to go back and we're going to add, I think I'm going to add a little green in here too. We'll do some blue. But then we need to bring that green color in somewhere. Toby Keith died today, y'all. Well, I don't know if he died today, but he died at least in the last couple of days. I'm not sure if it was actually today. I saw it this morning on the news. So sad. We actually saw him play at, oh gosh, my brain just turns to jello when I go live. The place that, who was the person in Virginia? Let me go back and see. Christina. Christina probably knows what I'm talking about. The place at King's Dominion, the outdoor concert venue at right beside King's Dominion. Help my brain. It's Innsbruck After Hours, but there's another name for it because it's not Innsbruck. Innsbruck, y'all that are not from Virginia are like, what in the world is she talking about? So we used to have a concert venue called Innsbruck After Hours, and Innsbruck is an office complex. And then they moved it out next to King's Dominion, and King's Dominion is like a amusement park. And I cannot think of the name of it. All right, so we need to do this flower. Meadow Event Park. Thank you. Yes. See, I'm telling you, my brain turns to mush when I'm live. I don't know what happens. We saw him at Meadow Event Park. And it was a great, great concert. I'm just streaking in a little of the other colors. And I'm really liking these flowers that way. This actually, I wasn't sure about the screen flower, but I'm going to tell y'all, this is my favorite one so far. Now, it doesn't look good without the middle done, and it's hard to see it on the camera. It just looks so much prettier in person. Well, dang it. Okay. Oh, I know what I'm going to do with polka dots. I'm going to do the letters in polka dots. That's going to be cute. Okay, so the middle of these flowers, let's figure out what color we need to do. I think this one should be white. Let me rinse my brush. Rinse my brush, rinse my brush. Let's see. Oh, Penny, you found the file. Yes, it's in, the link is in the video description. You can go to my website, which is lulubeandesigns.com, and you can click on the free SVG file library. That is where the free file is every month. So we change it every month. It usually does not happen on the first of the month. It usually doesn't happen until at least the second week of the month for me to get my ducks in a row and get it posted. Sometimes even later than that. But then I usually leave it up, extending into the next month a little bit because of that. Okay, so this one we're going to do in the purple. Let's go with that one. This one, let's do blue. I'm going to do the dark blue. I'm not even rinsing my paintbrush, y'all. I'm okay with these paints sort of melding together. I think it's pretty. And then this one, let's see, maybe the light blue. Let's do that. Oops, should have used my painter's tape on these little pieces. Okay, pretty much everything's painted. Yes, I think we're done with our paint colors. So let me close all my little paints up. Trying to keep things tidy. And I'm going to glue my centers on my flowers. I glue. Okay, let me put this back up. It's like right in my face. I think it might be about time to order a new bottle of Stick Fast, y'all. You're getting there. We are Airbnb-ing our condo in Richmond, Virginia. FYI, little plug for the condo. So if anybody is going there and wants to, needs a place to stay, you get to see my craft room because honestly, I didn't really even put everything away. I didn't put anything away, honestly. I just I'm a very trusting person, and I probably shouldn't say this on a live video, but yeah, my craft stuff is like, it's just all sitting out. I hopefully, like, if someone feels like painting, they probably could paint themselves a little project while they're staying there. I just don't have room to put it all away. So it is what it is. All right. We are Mod Podging. Let's Mod Podge. I'm not going to do my polka dots on my letters until we put them on the backer. So y'all, I have not Mod Podged in years. It's been years. I used to do it all the time. Okay, this one is matte. Normally I do matte on my wood projects because if I'm going to hang this outside, I'm going to spray the entire thing when I'm done anyway. So I don't need for my Mod Podge to be glossy. So hopefully this Mod Podge is not dried up. It doesn't feel like it's dried up. I did realize right before I said that I was going to go live today that I don't have a foam brush, and I usually do a foam brush for Mod Podge. So I'm probably just going to use a paintbrush for this. So this paintbrush is getting a little dry. I need to deep clean my paintbrushes. Okay, so let me figure out what order I'm going to put these pieces of cardstock in. I want to alternate the floral and the plaid. So let's do, and then I kind of want to make sure I blend in my blues and my purples. So let's do maybe like that. Does that look like I kind of mixed up the blue and the purple a little bit, maybe? I think so. I think that'll do. All right, so I'm going to do, oops, I already dipped my brush way far down in there. So I'm going to do a nice layer of Mod Podge. Y'all, there's always a cat or a dog hair on my table. Always. And I know when I open my door after I get done painting, they're going to both be standing there. They're so funny. They can't decide if they want to be in or out. They want to be in here, but they want the door open so they have the option of going out. That's what they really want. All right, I'm just making sure I have enough on here. I remember this being, you really need a fairly good amount. Ooh, uh-oh, that's not going to work. For it to stick. And then, now I've heard people say to let this piece dry before you put the top layer of Mod Podge on, but I'm not doing that because I feel like it curls up if I do that. So if y'all have any tips for Mod Podge, because I'm not really an expert on it. I haven't done it in a while, and I think that's looking good. We're just going to leave that. Now I do want, if I have streaks, I do want them all to be kind of in the right direction. So let's make sure. Okay. And then, okay, we'll move on to the next one. I'm going to try to overthink. Sometimes you overthink these things and then end up with a mess. So let me know if you are a Mod Podger and if you let it dry before you put your top coat on. And what I love about these two paper packs that I bought at Michael's today is that the colors all coordinate. So I could have done this same like design, but with pinks or with yellows. Like there's enough that you can kind of mix and match and decide like what you want your color palette to be, and you can have lots of options. So I don't see anybody saying that they Mod Podge. Are y'all not Mod Podgers? I know some people Mod Podge napkins, a bunch of things. They find like printed napkins. I've always wanted to try that. I need to do that. I need to be on the lookout for some pretty napkins. Okay, there we go. So I am just going to take my brush and just kind of go across the top here, just because I feel like it looks kind of messy with dabs of Mod Podge on it. So that'll make it look a little bit better. All right, we're done with that. And set this aside for a moment. And get all our pieces and put this sign together. Wipe up first. Because Mod Podge really is just glue. It's just a type of glue, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't want that all over my table here. It's messy enough. Becky says, I'm not a Mod Podger, but this kind of makes me want to try it. And Sandra says, I let the Mod Podge dry on the wood and then iron the paper on. You know what? I did that a couple years ago, and I actually have a little tiny crafting iron that I use to do it. I need to get that out. I forgot about that trick. I'm going to have to do that again. Okay, we're going to do, I keep thinking I need to do the polka dots, but I'm not going to do the polka dots until everything is on here. So I can not have to move the pieces around too much. Because that puffy paint, you don't want to mess that puffy paint up. Okay. Let me make sure I've got that all straight. So this sign would actually be, I think, a pretty good candidate for a bow on the top. A lot of my designs, because I put stuff at the top, there's just not a lot of room for a bow unless you put the bow like, you know, you hang it from the bow, like up here, you know, and have something coming down, like string coming down or twine. Let's see. Oh, Carmen, thank you. The blue is Blue Bonnet. This is all Apple Barrel paint. I'm loving Apple Barrel paint lately. It's really, I mean, I hadn't used it a whole lot because I thought it was thin paint. Just I remember from like years ago. When I say years ago, I remember like high school probably. And I don't even know if they had that paint in high school, but I remember the paint from Walmart being like thin paint. Knowing me, it was just the fact that I was young and I didn't know any better and I didn't shake it. I don't know. But anyway, it's really good paint and it's 58 cents and you just cannot beat that. Yes, it is at Walmart and it is 58 cents. And it's 58 cents at my Walmart. Now, I'm sure that depends on where you are in the country, but yes. Mind blown that you can get all these cute little paint colors for 58 cents. I mean, seriously. Now, of course, the specialty ones are a little bit higher, but all of the matte colors are 58 cents here near me. Okay, I'm going to glue these pieces down, and then we're going to do our polka dots. So let me start with our banner. I call this blue color periwinkle. It reminds me of the scrubs that I wore when I worked in labor and delivery at the hospital where I had my kids. So that was the hospital that I worked at for the longest as a labor and delivery nurse. And so y'all probably know most places the labor and delivery nurses don't wear their own scrubs into the hospital because they want us to not bring germs into the little babies. And so we get yucky. So we usually change at the hospital, and our scrubs at that particular hospital were this exact color. And I always called it periwinkle. It's just like a purpley blue. Becky, this is Stick Fast. Stick Fast Thick. They have, I don't know if they have, I'm assuming they have thin. I know they have medium and they have thick, but the thick is my favorite because it doesn't run. That's why I like the thicker one. I got a little bit of blue from my finger on there. All right, so we're just going to do one letter at a time here. But you can also use wood glue. You can use lots of different glues. Wood glue drives me a little bit nuts because it takes forever to dry. But if you guys saw my video, well, no, not my video. I don't think I posted a video of it. Pictures of my kitty house that I made recently. You can scroll back on my page and see it. Because that's such a big project, I used wood glue for it because I would have used up my entire bottle of Stick Fast. And Stick Fast is not cheap. And I felt like I just needed something that I could use a lot more glue and just kind of glob it on. So I used wood glue. But like I said, the wood glue takes forever to dry. And I really didn't want to have to like clamp everything and like prop everything. So what I ended up doing was I used the wood glue, but I also used some hot glue with the wood glue. And the hot glue made it hold immediately, but the wood glue will hold it like for the duration. And that seemed to really help. So highly recommend that method if you're doing like a bigger project. All right, that's all our pieces. So now I'm going to do a little bit of puffy paint. You are very welcome. It's great glue. Oh, wow. I need to save money so I can afford crawfish, Carmen. Oh my gosh, right? We're having crawfish this weekend. I do not even want to tell you how much we're paying for this crawfish. I'm uncomfortable with the amount of money per pound that we are paying for this crawfish. We're all going in, a group of us are going in. But we want crawfish so bad, and it's Mardi Gras, that we are like, okay, let's just do it. We're just doing it. We're going to have some crawfish. But compared to last year, ridiculous. Okay, I'm just going to kind of just start wherever here with my puffy paint. You could certainly do this with a small brush or the eraser end of a pencil. There are lots of ways to do polka dots, but the puffy paint to me is just the best because they all look so consistent and it's just easy. It doesn't run. It's a nice solid color that like you can't see the paint color through it, and I love that. So that's what my S looks like. So cute. I love it. We boiled crabs today, but not the same. I'm craving crawfish. So in Virginia, we do not boil crabs. We steam crabs. And we keep telling them down here that we want to steam crabs for them. And we're going to do it because I am a fan of every food that I have eaten in South Louisiana. And I mean every single food except boiled crabs. Not that I don't like them. They're crabs. They're perfectly delicious. But I will take a steamed crab over a boiled crab any day. It is just so different. We usually have our crabs covered in Old Bay. You have Old Bay all over your hands. You have Old Bay all over your face. You have Old Bay all over your clothes, your beer bottle. You have Old Bay everywhere. Basically, you sit down to eat steamed crabs, and you make sure that you have everything where it needs to be. Your children are tended to. You know, everything is where it needs to be because you're going to have Old Bay caked on your hands, and you're not getting up until you're done because you're only going to wash your hands once. So you're going to sit there and just be messy for a little while you pick crabs. And we boiled crabs down here one time, and we all sat down. We were in my backyard, and we all sat down to eat them. And I brought out Old Bay, and I made a little pile of Old Bay on my plate to dip my crabs in. And y'all, my neighbors here in Louisiana, they looked at me and they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm dipping my crabs in Old Bay. Like, y'all are eating your crabs all naked. What the heck? Where's your Old Bay? It was just too funny. I think only Virginia and Maryland people will understand the proper way to eat a steamed crab. My husband's from Maryland, and he puts Old Bay on everything. I love Old Bay. I am right there with your husband. Old Bay is so good. Any kind of seafood dish at all. I call my husband my saucier because I'll make something and I'll follow the recipe to the T. And I'll know that it needs something, but I can't tell what it needs. And I'm like, okay, it's time for you to come over and do your magic. And he'll come over and taste it, and he just knows like whatever seasonings it needs, and he fixes it. And Old Bay is definitely in his bag of tricks, I can tell you. Always get so quiet doing my puffy paint. You got to concentrate on where you're putting your little dots. I've had the steam when we were in DC, but I'll pass. So you may not have had the steam the right way though. If you had them at a restaurant, I can tell you, you really probably need to try them just like, you just need to have somebody cook them, not go to a restaurant. We never go to restaurants for steamed crabs. That is just not something I would go to a restaurant for. Kind of like lobster. There's nowhere that I've ever lived, because I've never lived north of Virginia. There's nowhere that I've ever lived where I could get decent lobster. So we just go buy lobsters and cook them ourselves. Because typically in a restaurant, you're just going to get a frozen lobster tail. Okay, one more letter. I love how fast this is. You're just kind of getting a rhythm of it, and it's just quick. There we go. We are done. Tulip Slick is what that was. Oh dear. Glue on my sponge topper. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. Well, actually, I'm not going to turn it around. I'm just going to hold it up closer so y'all can see those polka dots a little bit better. You could also find some cute polka dotted cardstock and you could Mod Podge this instead of using all this fluffy paint. Thank you, Carmen. I love it. I think it turned out super cute, y'all. I didn't know exactly how, I never know how it's going to go. Like I never know, exactly what my color scheme is going to be and like how it's going to go. But yeah, it came together. I really, really like it. All right. Well, thanks for joining me tonight, guys. I will be live again later on this week. I'm not sure exactly when yet, but I'll be later on for another project live again later on this week. So I hope y'all have a wonderful week and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.